has resumed evacuation flights out of Kabul for tens of thousands of Americans and Afghan allies after a delay lasting hours. There are logistical problems getting people out safely, and processing facilities have hit capacity. President Joe Biden says he cannot guarantee the final outcome. Nathan King has more from the White House. Let's take a listen.
Well, was it third time lucky for the US President Joe Biden as he attempted for that number of times to explain what the US is doing in terms of extraction of its nationals and sympathetic Afghans and others from Kabul? Well, not really, because essentially all what he was saying is kind of contradicted by facts on the ground. He said that there have been about 18,000 removed, that there was a short delay because of overcapacity in Doha, in Qatar, at an airbase. We understand that Ramstein airbase in Germany and others are going to be opened up, but still it led to a delay of flights for 8 hours. He said that he really didn't know how many Americans were still left to get to the airport, but if you go to the airport, everything's fine. The Taliban will allow you in. Well, we know from the chaotic scenes that that is not the case, especially for Afghans, even if they have special immigrant visa paperwork as well. It's quite incredible considering that also other countries like France, the UK, and now potentially Germany are sending out special operations teams into Kabul, the Green Zone, the Diplomatic Zone, and elsewhere to extract their nationals and sympathetic Afghans and take them to the airport, while the Americans cannot. Now, they understand that the Americans are the most high profile, they're in contrast to the Taliban, but the fact that this hasn't been worked out, even though they're in constant contact, is a head scratcher. And, you know, this president was elected on empathy. And he had one line, which is, we're going to get every American out we can, although they still admit they don't know how many Americans there are in Afghanistan. But he also said that Afghans who supported the US are almost, and I stress this, almost as important as Americans.
Yes, we're making the same commitment. There's no one more important than bringing American citizens out. I acknowledge that. But they're equally important almost as all those SIVs, we call them, who in fact helped us. They were translators. They went into battle with us. They were part of the operation.
Well, that's quite an incredible admission that there is an essentially apartheid system when it comes to extracting people. Just a real own goal from a president who got elected on empathy, on racial justice. Does it stop at the America's water's edge? Well, you know, he's had a lot of criticism. He still defends his position, and he says, despite the fact that there's been big dissent revealed in the last 24 hours, especially with the State Department cable from people in Kabul saying the Taliban could take over in a matter of days, he says the consensus was that they would be able to withdraw in a more orderly fashion. Sometimes he says the chaos was predicted. It's not a best performance from a man who has 3 decades of foreign policy experience in the Senate as well. And I can also tell you that the world is watching. He said that NATO allies have been nothing but supportive. Well, you saw the parliamentary debate in the United Kingdom over the last few days. We're seeing similar words from Denmark, from France, from NATO allies. This is not the finest hour for the Joe Biden presidency. Nathan King, CGTN, in the White House.